Have you ever looked at your bank account, seen a pretty decent number in there, and still had that nagging feeling that you're somehow falling behind? You're definitely not alone. It just feels like money doesn't stretch the way it used to. So let's get into why that is, and way more importantly, what you can actually do to fight back.
I mean, this question really gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Think about it. A decade ago, becoming a corporatee meant you were basically set for life. Today, well, in a big city, that might not even get you a nice house. So what on earth is going on here?
You hear it on the news all the time, right? The government says inflation is hovering around 6%. But see, that number is just an average of a huge basket of goods, including a lot of stuff you probably don't buy every day. What about the really big things, the costs that actually shape your life?
Okay, now this is what really matters. Forget the official number, let's talk about your personal inflation rate. Just look at this. Education costs, up 10% a year. Housing, another 10%. And healthcare is absolutely soaring at 13% annually. These are the expenses that can make or break a family budget, and they are crushing that official 6% figure.
So what do most of us do? We think, okay, I'll just keep my money safe in a savings account. It feels like the responsible thing to do, doesn't it? But, and this is so important, this is one of the biggest myths out there. That safe account is actually a leaky bucket, and the value of your money is just draining away day after day.
Let's just do the hard math for a second. Your bank might give you, what, 3.5% interest? Okay, but after taxes, that's really more like 2.45%. Now, you put that against a more realistic personal inflation rate, let's call it 8%, and you're actually losing over 5.5% of your money's buying power every single year. This is exactly why just saving money is a losing game.
Okay, so that was all the bad news. I promise there's good news. See, money is a game with a clear set of rules. And once you understand those rules, you can absolutely start winning. It all boils down to two concepts that the wealthy have been using for centuries.
First up is something called the time value of money. It sounds complicated, but it's not. All it means is that money you have today is worth more than the same amount of money in the future. Why? Because the money you have right now can be put to work. It can be invested and start earning more money for you, an opportunity a future dollar just doesn't have yet.
And how does it work? How does it grow? Through the magic of what Einstein supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. We're not talking about simple interest here. We're talking about earning interest on your interest. It's like a tiny snowball rolling down a hill that over time becomes this massive, unstoppable force.
Just how powerful is it? Well, check this out. Imagine you invest a single dollar. With a pretty normal 10% annual return, that $1 becomes $6.73 in 20 years. And you didn't have to do a single thing. That's the power of putting your money to work for you. The takeaway is simple. You have to get your money in the game.
Okay, you're thinking, but how do I even start? It can feel overwhelming, I get it, but it doesn't have to be. Let's walk through a brilliantly simple system that you can set up this week. It's all about making financial discipline automatic, so you don't have to think about it.
Seriously, forget all those complex spreadsheets and budgeting apps. All you need is 3 separate bank accounts. That's it. One is your expenses account for things like rent, bills, groceries. The second is your wants account. That's for fun stuff like going out to eat or shopping. And the third, and this one is the most important, your savings and investment account. This account is untouchable for everyday spending.
Here's how it works. The second your salary hits your bank, you immediately transfer fixed amounts into these 3 accounts. A great starting point is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and a non-negotiable 20% straight into that savings and investment account. Boom, you've just paid yourself first and put your financial future on autopilot.
All right, so now you have a system that's automatically feeding money into your savings and investment account. That's amazing. The next step is to build an engine that makes this money grow, and grow faster than that pesky personal inflation rate we talked about.
And that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? Where does this money actually go? Because just letting it sit in that third account isn't the final move. We need to put it to work. And that means investing it in assets, things that have the potential to grow over time.
Now, if we boil it down, there are really 3 main places you can invest your money. You've got stocks, which are basically tiny pieces of ownership in a company. You've got bonds, where you're kind of like a bank, loaning money to a government or a big corporation. And then you have real estate, physical property. Each one has a different level of risk and, of course, a different potential reward.
Let's just quickly compare the two most common ones, stocks and bonds. With stocks, you literally become a part owner of a business. Your money goes up and down with the company's success, so it's more volatile, but that's also where you find higher potential for growth. With bonds, you're the lender. It's much safer, you get predictable payments back with interest. Lower risk, but also lower returns. A really solid investment plan usually has a healthy mix of both.
So we've covered the what and the how. But you know what? None of it matters if you don't have the right mindset. The tools are actually pretty simple. It's the psychology, our own emotions. That's the real final boss when it comes to building wealth.
I love this quote. It just sums everything up perfectly. There's a boring way to get rich, and there is a quick way to get poor. Everyone's looking for that hot tip, that shortcut, the next big thing that's going to make them rich overnight. Well, that's usually the quick way to get poor. The real path, the boring path, is about fighting your own instincts. It's not panicking when the market drops. It's not getting greedy when things are soaring. It's just the simple discipline of investing that 20% every single month, no matter what, and letting that compounding engine do its slow, quiet, magical work.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Here's what you need to remember. First, your real inflation rate is the enemy, and it's higher than you think. Second, your greatest ally in this fight is compound interest. Third, use a dead simple system, like the 3 accounts, because a simple plan you actually follow is a million times better than a perfect one you don't. And finally, the hardest part. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Patience and consistency win the long game.
You now have the entire framework. You get the problem, and you have a clear, actionable plan to solve it. The only thing left is to start. So I'll leave you with this. What's your first step going to be? Just one small thing. Is it opening that second bank account, or maybe just tracking your spending for a week? Whatever it is, your future self is waiting for you to take it.